All right, to start, for this assignment, our professors tasked us with comparing three different Spike Lee films, starting one with Malcolm X that was filmed in 1992, Do the Right Thing, which was released in 1989, and 25th Hour, which is released in 2002. So obviously, like I mentioned, they're all Spike Lee films. Um, And obviously, Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X are predominantly African American casting, whereas 25th Hour is mostly white casting or a bunch of Italian, German, not too many African Americans in that film. Um, Going back to the beginning, talking a little bit about Malcolm X, that was the first movie I watched. In that movie, it kind of has like a little bit of a narration style where either Malcolm is talking to himself or eventually his wife starts doing some narrations when he's out doing speeches and things like that. Um, this movie, kind of like um, 25th Hour, kind of goes back and forth on the timeline. Um, with Malcolm X, there's different points in the beginning of his life that they want to make sure that uh, you take in and you're listening to, so they go back and forth at different points. And then 25th Hour to kind of explain um, what the main character is going through because um, you're seeing the after effect of what really happened. You're not seeing everything that happened before. So they give you like little flashbacks to kind of give you context on what might have happened before what actually happened in the movie. Um, One thing that was different about 25th Hour that was different from the other ones was it had kind of like a grainy resolution, and I wonder if that was to make it feel like more of like an older movie with like a noir kind of feel that we talked a little about. It was a lot darker. A lot of the scenes were at night or like in the nightclub. It was real dark with like real dark blues, blacks. There's a couple scenes during the day, but even during the day, it's not real sunny. It's kind of gloomy. It looks like it's gonna rain. Um, and then One thing I noticed about Malcolm X and also Do the Right Thing was Spike Lee likes to do like trailing actor shots. Like when the actors are walking, he likes to like kind of follow them with the camera. And I think you see that in Malcolm X when him and Spike Lee um, are walking through New York under the bridge in their fancy suits, and the camera's following them, and you can see all the like activity that's going on around them. Um, Same with Do the Right Thing. Um, when Spike is walking down the street, when he first comes out in his Dodgers jersey, um, it's following him down the street as he's saying what's up to all the people that he knows who are sitting on their porch or kids that are playing and whatnot. Um, so definitely those kind of shots and Do the Right Thing. I feel like he added different kind of shots, a lot of full shots, especially with the three guys um, that were sitting at a table. A lot of full shots of them um, sitting there, and also a lot of close shots, like right where the camera's right at the actor's face. I guess either to see the like emotion or the sweat that's dripping down their face, Do the Right Thing. At the time of the movie, the whole thing is that it's so hot outside, and you have the whole fire hydrant scene where they're trying to cool off, and so I think like the close-up shot was just show how exasperated people were because of the heat, and I think one different thing that Malcolm X did than the other films was the shots of Malcolm X speaking on TV. Like it would show him in the actual place, and then it would take you back to a TV to almost make it look like you were watching it, which I thought was pretty cool. But neither of the other ones really did that. Going back to like the kind of narration style, I thought that in Do the Right Thing, the character that Samuel L. Jackson plays, DJ, is kind of like the narrator of the town. And even though um, you know he can't see everything that's going on, he still is talking about it. So it kind of gives you that idea that he's kind of like that narrator of the town or the keeper of peace. Um, a thing with repeat shots, I thought was pretty prominent in both Do the Right Thing and 25th Hour. I got Spike to this just to really give the viewer the effect of what um, the actor was doing. I remember in 25th Hour when the main character first finds the dog and he slams the trunk, and I guess it's just trying to show you like the force that he's using to slam the trunk. I'm trying to think of another instance where they use repeated shots. Um, in Do the Right Thing, when Spike and his girlfriend um, are up in the room, there's a moment where he does a repeat shot. Um, One thing that is also different about Do the Right Thing between the other movies, and maybe why Do the Right Thing was probably my favorite out of these three to watch, where because it had a comedy element to it, where the other two were a lot more serious films. So the comedy element, although while there's an important premise to the story, it makes the to me anyway, it makes the movie a lot more enjoyable to watch when there's um, like uh, little tidbits of comedy uh, here and there. Um, Going back to Malcolm X, there's a lot of talk about the separation of African Americans and Caucasian um, that he is taught through Elijah Muhammad, and then obviously Elijah Muhammad um, pretty much turns his back on Malcolm X and decides that Malcolm's getting too much press in the media and was trying to overtake him as the sole uh, underlier to a lie, I guess. And um, so this aligns with Do the Right Thing. The uh, Sal's son, Pino, is pretty racist, and he has that conversation with his dad when they're sitting at the table, where he says that he wants to open a store back home, away from all the African American people, and um, so those two things kind of connect to each other. Um, Also, in Do the Right Thing and 25th Hour, um, there's different shots of um, different races, religions, and and whoever's talking at the time is just bagging or listing a bunch of stereotypes or what they're doing, and it just keeps going through the different race, religion, and it'll have like a different person at each time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, that Spike Lee used to kind of give you the what the character is thinking about those underlying uh, features in the film, like race and religion. Um, in 25th Hour, and also actually all the films. Obviously, Spike is from New York. All the films have ton of shots of New York. Expect 25th Hour and Do the Right Thing probably more so as Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee, and they're constantly like in that neighborhood feel, and um, they're uh, both Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X reference to brownstones, the houses in New York. Um, and then um, going back to Malcolm X, I thought one thing that was interesting is throughout the movie, his religious philosophy almost changes three different times. From the beginning, when he gets locked up, um, the priest comes and gives him a cigarette, and at that time he's not necessarily believing in God. And when the other African American man comes up to him in prison, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he starts teaching him about Elijah Muhammad and Allah, and Malcolm X becomes interested and then starts going down that path. And once Elijah Muhammad betrays him, and Malcolm X realizes that, he once again changes his religious philosophy again to um, less separation between white and black, but more inclusion of all races. Um, so um, that's kind of my summary of all three films and what I thought, um, what each one had in common, and what I thought about each one separately. Thank you.